Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, where everything you're about to hear and see has been done in one take. I'm your host, the One Take Man. About a year ago, I did a pair of videos about the Pirates of Darkwater. First of all, a series overview, and then I chimed in with my suggestions for how for a potential reboot or remake uh, of the series. For this video, I thought I would dive into that well again, ho ho, and talk about a potential video game adaptation of the remade series. Now, I know, trust me, I know. Video game adaptations have fallen out of favor for quite a while, especially since the production process of a video game has become increasingly more complex and harder to align with that of a movie or a TV series. That, for me, however, is no problem because one, I'm also considering making an animated series I'm considering an animated series for the potential remake. And those have similar production processes from concept to execution when compared to video games. So it's not that big of a problem. And two, um, even if the game isn't out by the time the potential live action series is released, uh, I still think I can use that to my advantage because I think a franchise slowly rolling out its slowly rolling out its product has a little bit more staying power. So I'm fine with the game itself being released anywhere between 3 and 10 weeks after the series finale airs. If I were to be if I were to be particularly clever here, I would line up the game's release in such a way as for it to as for it to be close to the closing of an admission window for for one or several gaming awards. And given that a potential win or even nomination would do a great deal in terms of uh, uh, popularizing the franchise and keeping it in the public discussion moving forward. It's somewhat funny that I'm starting to the discussion about a pirate themed topic by being all corporate synergy 5 hit here, but this is the kind of thing I'm talking about now because I'm trying to discuss first of all the viability. But now that that has been established, and it's time I put the cart back behind the horses and talk about the game itself. And because I am a story guy, that is where I will start. The story will, perhaps quite obviously, be based on that of the game, but stripped down just a little. Because while the series will have, the characters solve, solve a specific problem in a certain way, uh, the game should allow for player agency. That means it should allow players to look at the same issues and address them in different ways. Important thing to note here is that I don't just want the main player's actions to be the main character's actions to be considered in terms of a video game implementation. I also want the entire main cast to receive something to do, either in support of the main character or within their own distinctive side quests. That could lead to the game itself potentially being overwritten, but I'm fine with that. At least for now. I'm also considering maybe having the option of recruiting various characters to to the main character's crew. But that is something that is to be dealt with. But that is something that comes downstream from the series itself. So I'm just gonna mention the possibility and move on. Another thing that could be worth considering is perhaps the game having multiple endings, depending on the kind of influence uh, the player characters have left over the world. And another thing that is possible is perhaps adding several different endings depending on whether or not and where exactly the player succumbs over the course of their journey. If it worked for Nier Automata, it might as well work for it might work for this game as well. In terms of aesthetics, the game should obviously match the aesthetics of the aesthetics of the series, which would in turn be copied and adapted from the uh, original show, which I have to say had a great color palette with a lot of very vivid and very uh, deep colors. A lot of that allowed for allowed it its own identity and allowed it plenty of definition. So I very much want to see that um, implemented in both of these visual media. Uh, there is another aspect of the aesthetics that could work, that is worth considering within video games, and that is the design of the various locations. Think about how all those smooth curves and sharp edges can be translated into stuff like sprawling, contiguous locations, but with clear separations and plenty of usable empty spaces. That being said, the core of every game is still the gameplay, so that'll have to take that'll also have to take a plenty of focus here. And I have some inspirations in mind for this game. And the first of which is Far Cry. And the reason I'm mentioning Far Cry is because within that game you have the option of either when approaching an enemy base, you have the option of either going in looking for violence, you have the option of sneaking around, or you can also use some of the elements of the base itself in order to complete whatever assignment whatever assignment you are given. That and it doesn't necessarily have to be from within the base itself. You can use other facets as well. Far Cry in particular is quite well known for granting the players the ability to tame or train animals so that they so they are so they would so they can fight on their behalf. Hitman does something that is relatively similar but much more granular, where there are a wide variety of elements within each location, and the player has a lot of freedom and a lot of carte blanche, so to speak, a blank check, in order to complete the assignment in whatever way they choose. The second inspiration that I want to mention is Dragon Age. Keep in mind that the Pirates of Darkwater is a setting with supernatural creatures and magic, and as such, there are a variety of different capabilities that need to be adjusted for. And I think Dragon Age itself has the building blocks to where that can be made possible. Also, the opportunity of adding a dialogue tree would help better translate the the narrative possibility and the interactivity that the game and the players have. And last but not least, the third major inspiration I have, or I would consider, is the Assassin's Creed series, primarily for its mobility and combat options. The gameplay itself would focus on a few aspects. First of all, traversal, be that by land, on sea, be that by land, sea, or even air, for for characters who can fly, or even for even for stuff like gliding flight, something like that. Um, Combat of both the armed and unarmed variety. Dialogue. I already mentioned RPG dialogue trees, something that would allow the player character to gain allies or information, and therefore increase the options they have available. And I'm also potentially considering lockpicking or a variety of other uh, interactive elements in order to fully allow for the game to be granular and to allow the players to seek out uh, various options in terms of how exactly they can uh, complete the various missions that the game would consist of. This is where the aspects I mentioned in the beginning of the video about multiple endings could also come into play, because depending on the choices players make, there could be a an in-game reputation meter could change its rating, and therefore lead to various locations becoming either hostile or friendly uh, towards the player characters. Uh, Another option would perhaps be adding a bounty to the bounty upon the main cast or main crew, but main crew. That's also worth noting. Achievements would be based upon navigation, combat, story progression, side quest completion, as well as various other challenges, conditions, or milestones. I've also considered some multiplayer options, and there are two things one can do here. Either copy Sea of Thieves and just allow a bunch of people to build their own crews and navigate throughout the world of the game, or you can do the MOBA/Fortnite route and have a whole bunch of players let loose on one of several possible locations, and then the winner of each match would be either the last one standing or the one who manages to collect all the treasures that are that are present on the map. This isn't really rocket science. This is something that should be quite obvious, I think. And yeah, that is my pitch for a potential Pirates of Darkwater video game. Thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed it, well then please like the video and maybe even share it wherever you think other people will also like the video. If there is anything you'd like to add, either to the concept or to how I suggest it should be implemented, that's what the comment section is for. And if you want to see when my next video gets released, well then please subscribe. And ideally also ring the bell or do whatever else YouTube will ask of you in order to keep you notified. My main channel, which ironically has less subscribers than this one, is also available. Is available at the in the description down below, right past my social media links. So if you want to hear me talk about book-related and literature topics, that's where you'll find it. Additionally, have the option of supporting me on Patreon, and I could very much use that because I literally tied my hair with a shoelace. So if I've been able to convince you, then go ahead and check that out. And additionally, depending on the option, at the level at which you pledge, you will receive various perks as well. So it's not just a charity case. Even though you could list it as a charity if you want to, I'm not gonna blame you. And yeah, that was about it. That was about all I had to say. Until next time, I have been the One Take Man.